I'm recalling one meeting which I had with a yogi who from last almost 25 years, he would trek from India to Manasarovar and live in that area, Kailas and Manasarovar, from last 25 years. So even in the worst of the time, somehow the Chinese army would give him visa to go there, right? I might have some picture also where we are doing the yagya in Mansarovar and he was seated with me. And he specially came to meet me and we had a very beautiful conversation and lot of talk about, lot of Tibetan monks were in that area. The Buddhist monks were there, in monasteries are there in that area. So he said that I got this message when I said, who gave you the message? But he said, just got the message and that you are coming here and that's why I have come here to meet you in person. I said, great. So, when we people meet, so sometimes, without any control or without any camouflage, direct questions and direct answers will happen. So I said, okay, Yogi, dear Yogi, do you levitate? He said, no. I said, have you seen somebody who levitates? And he gave a very guffaw of laughter and he said, all the birds fly and they are not greater just because they fly. I said, okay. He said, I just love being here in this area because it remains so quiet and very few people come. Well, not lately. Many people are going and ruining and polluting that area. Because wherever human being will go, they will bring their garbage and they will bring disturbance to that ecology of that place. And they won't stop until they destroy it totally. So, the point is that in worshipping any saguna, worshipping any Ishtadevata, this is the theory which is preached and practiced by many, and that is these certain places are very powerful and the others are not. But in my understanding, God is not an energy which can be limited by space, by limiting its energies, that its energies function greater in this area and doesn't function in other area. So we are making some places special and some places not. Guru Nanak Sahib, Kabir Sahib and all these people have always been talking about that if divinity, or your chosen favorite word in English, God, if God is present everywhere, then shouldn't every place be considered as holy? How can you say this place is holier than this one? Oxygen is present everywhere in almost 200 miles, maybe lesser. I can't give you correct figure, you can Google it. But wherever you might walk on the earth, the oxygen is there. You can't say this place has more oxygen. Yeah, some places might be polluted. They might have the presence of the PM 2.5 more and some might have less, but doesn't mean that oxygen is not available there. Now, maybe oxygen gets limited in some places and it's plentiful in another places, but you cannot equate oxygen with God. Right? So you can't say this place is holy just because it is on 18,000 feet from sea level. And this place is just ordinary. The space like in Delhi or Punjab or any other city or town. So which place is more powerful? Where should you go to seek this power? Now the point is, are you seeking power? Are you seeking miracles? Well, let me say this. Your body is born out of a spoonful of sperm of your father. And just from a teaspoon of sperm, this whole human body got created. Do you need another miracle for your very being is the miracle? And yet you are like a child looking for a miracle. And then there will be people who will say, oh, we will show you some miracle. You just become my chela, my disciple, and serve me like the best. And then one day I'll show you another miracle. You need to see the miracle. The greed to see the miracle makes you a fool, actually. A simple seed of any vegetable or a fruit, it's just a plain, odd, black seed, not even very rounded, not even shiny. You put it in the earth, wait for 6 weeks, and here the saplings come out and the plant comes out and the tree becomes laden with fruits. Isn't that a miracle for you? From a one single seed, you have a huge tree. The tree, the peepal tree which I had sown in 1997, when this land was bought, it was just this small sapling. So it was the Guru Purnima day. We all came here, and a little pit was dug, and I placed this sapling, and a simple barbed wire for the protection of this sapling was placed, and we left this place on its own. And it's all farmlands, a lot of nilgai in this area, a lot of bulls and oxes and cows and buffaloes are in this area. They're roaming about. But I come back after 4 months, after 5 months, and the sapling has grown, not eaten by anybody, not destroyed by any wind or something, and it's still there. And then this boundary wall was made, and 2 years of time, the first 2 buildings came up, and the tree was still growing there, and it's still growing there. How many years you do the calculation? Almost 26 years. And how big? And it was just less than my hand. 10 inches. That's it. It could have been easily destroyed by any animal, or by rain, or by wind, or by storm, or uprooted by any child. And yet it stayed there. For me, that's a miracle. Say if you are a miracle monger, then look at your own face in the mirror. You are a miracle. Look at trees and plants around you. Those are miracles. The earth is not falling away and getting scattered in the galaxy, and it is just revolving at its axis, and it's moving beautifully around the sun. Isn't that a miracle? The days and the nights are coming and going, and the moon is rising, and from a dark night to all the way to the full moon, and then next 15 days again it goes into the changes are so evident and so clear. What other miracle you are looking for? Now in Tantra, the Shiva is not considered to be just a body alone. Like you are not just a body alone, so is the Shiva not just body alone. So, who is Shiva? It says the supreme consciousness within you is the Shiva. So if I have to say which is the seat in the human body, I would say this head is the seat of Shiva. Shiva is the supreme consciousness. And who is Devi? It's a Prakriti, it's the nature which created this body, these senses. The mind, the intellect got created by Prakriti. And Prakriti in the Tantric language is called Sati or Devi Parvati. In a yoga language, we call it Purusha and Prakriti. Who is Purusha? Shiva is the Purusha. Who is Prakriti? Parvati is the Prakriti. And in the same thing in the Vaishnavanite scriptures, the Vishnu is the Purush and the Lakshmi is the Prakriti. It's a male and female energies working in sync with together. Right? So which is the seat of Shiva then? Your own being is the seat of Shiva. Now if you can't see this within you, then you are just a blind person. You may travel to Kailash or go to Amarnath or go to Mallapuram or go to Rameshwaram or any 12 Jyotirlingas. From Ujjain to Mahakaleshwar to here and to there. What will you find? You will find some buildings, some new, some old. Some very fabulous artwork. Yes, it is there. But would you see Shiva over there? So you don't know who Shiva is. Shiva is the supreme consciousness. Shiva is the another name which we give to the absolute reality. And it's right there where you are. And if you can't find it here where you are, how would you find it if you travel, say, another 1,000 miles to a far-fetched land? What will you see? Some mountains, some hills, some buildings. Okay, man-made buildings, man-made temples. I love all these structures. They are beautiful structures. If you are a student of architecture, please go there. And enjoy that beauty. Sure, do that. But you know, that place is very powerful. It is your mind which is saying it is powerful. And if you have sensibility enough, and if you have intelligence enough, then wherever you are, you can seek the Shiva right where you are. And if you can't find it here, you can't find anywhere. One time, a Bengali gentleman came to me and he said that Ramakrishna Paramahansa touched chest of Narendra, who later on became Swami Vivekananda, and instantly Narendra went into deep samadhi. I said, yeah, that's so true. He said, so can you give me that touch that I can go into samadhi right away? I said, but do you think so you are Narendra? Are you seeing yourself at par with him? He said, no, I don't mean to say that. But why are you saying his name then? We human beings love to create lofty ideals about anything and everything, and India especially. Oh, the miracle and the power and the instant miraculous samadhis happening is such a sought after thing. And they are all hoping that if I practice this, if I practice that, if I practice this, someone is waiting for Mahavatar Babaji to come, someone is expecting Swami Yogananda to come, someone is expecting Jesus will, come from the sky, and lo, behold, Jesus is right there in front of you. And someone is expecting Sri Krishna to come and appear in front of them, and someone is expecting some great yogis, and they will always talk about those yogis who are not present in life. Those who are present in life, for them, they have all the criticism. So actually, the mind is really bonkers. See, if you train your mind, and Tantra is all about training the mind. It uses the external rituals and systems, and basically it is training of the mind. What we say in yoga, dharana. But a dharana cannot be successfully practiced if you do not have practiced your yamaniyam, your asana pranayam properly, and if you haven't experienced the pratyahar, the internalization of your senses, you cannot practice dharana. But if you follow this whole regime properly, then you can reach to the state of a dharana. Dharana means to hold. Right? Dharana means dharana. Dharana iti dharana. That which holds is dharana. This means in your mind, one, you created a space where mind is totally quiet and silent and thoughtless and no vasanas and no desires and no physical or sensual urges are there which will disturb the mind. So mind is made this beautiful, crystal clear, beautiful mind. And now in this mind, like yesterday I was talking about the story which we have, that when Shiva was pleased with Sati's penances and austerities, as she was doing it to win him as a husband, and she was literally going through very hard penances, and all the demigods and rishis and sages and munis were so melting seeing her in that status, and so many tried to beguile her that leave it, it's not possible. Shiva is a vairagi. He won't accept you as a wife. And she said, it might take me millions of life. I will die and be born and die and be born, but still I'm going to win him. I'm not going to stop my tapasya, my austerities, just like that. And that's when Shiva goes there in that very area, and he sits under a huge tree, and he pulls out his damaru and places his powerful fingers and gives the drum the beat. And through that beat, he created such a mesmerizing and such a powerful magnetic zone that Devi just comes into that area and sees the Shiva sitting there, and after paying her loveful obeisance to Shiva, she is so moved with those rhythms and so moved with the sound of the damaru that she just dances. And her dance and her love and her devotion was so strong that Shiva left his seat and joined Devi, and then they both danced. And Shiva accepted her as his wife. Right? Now, if you have a clear and a pure mind, and if you heard this whole description, the chances of the words getting converted into a four-dimensional scene in your mind, if that has not happened, then this just means that you haven't prepared your mind enough. If your mind was prepared enough, then this would have turned into a realization, this visualization. Everything would be happening in your mind. But for you, the Shiva would be real, the Devi would be real, the dance would be real. And your mind's getting engrossed into this whole thing. If that would have happened, then it would have led to total absorption of the mind. That is samadhi. It comes easy then. But if you haven't prepared your mind, if you don't have the devotion, if you don't have the clarity of the mind, if you don't have the integration of the mind, if you don't have the higher level of that concentration, and if your mind is just infused with sensual, worldly urges and pulls and desires and what not, then whatever I was speaking yesterday would be just okay. Fine, you heard it, okay. Fine, you heard the music and then fine, nothing changed then. But if your mind was well prepared, then you don't have to go to Kailasha. Kailash comes to you. You don't have to search for anything. But if you are wandering from place to place to place to place to place to place, you won't be getting anything. So the great 7 sages, the Saptarishi, or the other masters, they would just be there wherever they are, and with the help of the Guru, they would just do their sadhana and go deeper and deeper and working on the mind and making it purer and clearer and translucent and beautiful. Just yesterday I got call from Swami Satyasanganand Saraswati. She is disciple of great Swami Satyanand Saraswati ji from Rikhia. So this year they have the centenary program of Swamiji's birthday. So we were talking and she was so hoping that I should go, which I have promised her that yes, I will come and join those celebrations. And Swami Satyananda Saraswati was disciple of Swami Sivanandaji Maharaj. So when we met him long ago in Rikhia, Swamiji said that he used to live in Munger at one time. They have a huge college, university and everything over there, teaching yoga and psychology and everything over there. But then at prime of this organization doing so flourishing and so popular, one day he just vanished. He left everything. And then for a good year, nobody knew where Swamiji is. So the college and the ashram was doing its work nicely under patronage of another great Swami. And Swami Satyanand was traveling here and there and visited many places. And then he chose Rikhia to settle down. Nobody knew about this place. There's nothing special as such of that place. But then Swami Satyanand stayed there, and for 12 years he did his astounding sadhana over there. And that ordinary Rikhia became obviously a great place. Was it great before? No. It was made greater because of Swami Satyanand's work over there. So are all tirthas in India, all pilgrimage places have a history. Some rishi stayed there, did the sadhana, achieved the greatest, and that's why that place became holy. And then now others go there to visit, to get inspiration for the sadhana. Although these days people travel to the tirthas not to get inspiration for sadhana, but just for good selfies over there. Right? Selfie by Ganga, selfie by Gangotri, selfie at Ujjain, selfie at Omkareshwar and Mahakaleshwar. The beauty, the sanctity, the silence is not there. Yes, it's very powerful place. Now who is saying it is powerful place? The one who will believe it is a powerful place, for them it is a powerful place. But if you have a dirty mind and you go over there, that powerful place isn't going to punish you, which it should, for being nonsense and doing nonsense over there. But they go and do their ruckus and they come back with more photos, sure. Photo albums for their Facebook and Instagram. Places are not holy, my dear. Sadhana makes it holy. So if you do sadhana, then you can convert. That's power of you. You can convert that ordinary place into great place. And if you can't see divinity within you, mind you, you won't be able to see it when you will go A, B, C, D or wherever. This place is great. If you believe in, it is great. If you have a doubt, then it is not great. So in a way, the greatness is proposed by your mind and then experienced also by your mind. So in a way, I will say it's a mind game. Who is Krishna? Is Krishna just a form? And if you think that Krishna is just a form, if you think Shiva is just a form, then you really don't know who Krishna is and who Shiva is. No. Krishna so beautifully says, amongst trees, I am the banyan. Among the animals, I am the cow. Among the rivers, I am Ganges. It's like representative. So there are so many rivers, you can't take all the names. So he just takes one name. That's representative. Among the stars, I am the Dhruva. And in humans, I am Arjuna. No, he's talking to Arjuna. And he's saying, among humans, I am Arjuna. What's Sri Krishna saying? You are me, and I am you. Peel the layer of this human form, and peel my layer of the form which you are seeing. Just peel off these layers of the physical appearances. There is just one absolute reality. But if somebody wishes to travel and go for pilgrimage, I'll say, please go ahead, do it. Great. If you have time, if you have money, if you have energy, why not? Go. But remember this thing. If you can't find Shiva within you, you will not find him anywhere. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjun tishtate. Ishvar is present in all the elements, fire, earth, air, wind, ether, in all the elements. But if you have to look for me, Krishna says to Arjun, look within you. Hrideshe arjun tishtati. I'm right there. When you sit down in a yogic posture, you do your yogic breathing, you bring your mind to peace and quietude, and you do your Panchakshari mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. There you go, Shiva is right there. Shivaya. Namah Shiva. Namah Shivaya. 5 letters. How many letters? 5. Panchakshari mantra. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. So you begin as a devotee and you use this mantra to tame your mind, and that point comes where you become Shiva. And that's the highest Advaita Vedanta proclamation, Shivoham. Shivoham. So what I am talking about is your truth, and it is the highest truth. And if you wish to proceed into this path, I am more than happy to do that. But I cannot give false promises and so-called miracles and you are like, small kid. Small kids, they say, my daddy's strongest. Little kids do that. My daddy is police. Chintu said, my daddy is police. And Pinku said, my daddy is army. And Shweta came in and she said, my dad is a commando and NSG. I said, nothing, my dad is a Marine, American Marine. It's a very childish game. My daddy is strongest. Abhinav Gupta, great Shaivite scholar of Kashmir, gives these sutras about how to worship Shiva. And in that, there is a point where he says that you begin with worshipping Shiva and you end up being a Shiva. That's the journey. You begin from loving Shiva and you end up being a Shiva yourself. That's why in India we have a sect of sadhus who will have a jata, the locked hair, and they will wear a mrigashala, some animal skin, or maybe they'll wear a loincloth, a langoti, and they'll wear the bhasma, the ash on the body, and hold a trident, a trishul in their hand, and they have the tripunda on their forehead, the ash, 3 lines and the single dot. And if you ask, and when they meet one another, when they meet one another, they say Shivoham. Shivoham. And the other sadhu will reply, Shivoham. And then for hours and hours they can sit and do kirtan of Shiva, or just do the pranayam, or just do the meditation. So they have great love and great adoration for Parvati Ma and for Shiva, but their devotion is so pure that they begin to live like a Shiva, live in cremation grounds, and put an ash of the funeral pyre on their body, because for such a person, for such a yogi, nothing is impure. Everything is pure. Everything is sanctified. So you may begin from like Shiva or Krishna or Devi, wherever you begin to. You begin from a form and ultimately you move into the formless. You begin from finite and then you move into the infinite. You move from the limited to the unlimited. You begin from illusion and you move into reality. But if you are looking for miracles and that powerful miracles to watch, you will be too misled then by so many people. But maybe even that might be your journey, that you get these kind of experiences and ultimately to know, well, that was not worth it. Mira left her fort, her husband's fort. She was a queen. She left her fort. She went to Vrindavan, stayed there for many years. Then she moved on to Kashi, where her guru, Ravidas, lived. So she goes there. And she was in great pain. And she said, someday I have a great vision of Krishna. And then weeks go and I don't have any vision of Krishna. Why Krishna is deceiving me? And Guru Ravidas knew Mira from so many years. And then she stayed there with him and had the satsang. And then at some given point, she got the realization and she understood who Krishna is. And she never went back to Vrindavan. Because her in-laws' family was following her and they were pestering to come back home, or there were other relatives who were making this social pressure on her to come back to her home. And so she said, now I'll have to move away. And so in early 13th century, she walked all the way to Gujarat and camped at Dwarika and lived there up till 84 years of her age. She never went back to Vrindavan. Never. Ever. So who will be bigger devout than Mirabai? None. But Mira got the experience of loving Krishna in form and realizing Krishna in his formless reality. So she was not just a bhakta, she was a Atmagyani, she was a self-realized person. And that's the beauty. It's okay to love the form, Shiva or Krishna or whomsoever. But then slowly you have to go deeper, from going outwardly to the temples, then moving into the temple of your own heart. It's not journey of outside. It's journey of within. But very few people will understand this. Very few people will understand and digest this. This is too hardcore, bitter truth for many. I'm not against idol worshipping. Absolutely not. I love it. We have so many over here. Some of the most beautiful ones. What you are seeking, you have it right within you. Guru Nanak says, "Uha to jaiye jo iha na ho." I should go there if you were not here. If you are here, then I don't have to go to there, that place, to have your vision, to have your darshan. I just need to be where I am, and I just need to explore my own identity, my own being.